Why do you support Trump? Not a single policy has been mentioned. Not a single one. So now, homie's awfully quiet now that Trump just kicked 17 million people off their Medicaid.
What's up, y'all? Kulinski is not letting up on Joe Rogan. We're going to watch how he reacts to Joe Rogan's new interview on a show called The Ultimate Human. And I guess it's safe to say that Kulinski is never going to be re-invited to the Joe Rogan podcast. But maybe he'll get to a point where Joe Rogan will want to have the debate with Kulinski face to face. So it may lead to something. I don't know. Let's watch some clips and I'll give my thoughts on it afterwards. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. Or not. I'm not your dad.
So it looks like Joe Rogan did an interview here with The Ultimate Human. I guess this is a Daily Caller affiliated podcast. And he basically gets asked here about his support for Trump, about why he decided to interview Trump, knowing it would help him and all that stuff. And he sort of tells all about what led him to effectively be a little Trump sycophant. So let's watch this and we'll break it down as we go.
There was a bunch of things that happened. First of all, there was the lawfare. There was these lawsuits that they were trying to pin on him. They were trying to convict him and turn him into a felon, and they were doing it so blatantly and obviously. The case with the bookkeeping error, or the bookkeeping, whatever it was, the misdemeanor that they had charged him with 34 felonies for, which isn't even a felony. It's a misdemeanor.
And it's also contribution.
Exactly. It's also past the statute of limitations. None of it made any sense.
I love this because here he's saying the fact that Trump is a criminal and was under 91 different criminal investigations, 91 crimes is what he committed, right? Rogan viewed that as an indictment of the justice system, as an indictment of the legal community, as an indictment of, the DAs who are prosecuting him and going after him. And all I have to say in response to that is, you and I both know, Rogan didn't do any fucking reading on those cases at all. He has no idea the first fucking thing about it. I went deep. I read the entire fucking indictment, the Jack Smith indictment. When that came out, we literally read through the whole thing. We debated Michael Tracy about that. I read the entire indictment, the Letitia James one, talking about the various cases of fraud in regards to his business in New York. He lied about everything, lied about the size of his fucking apartment, lied about how much he sold that shit for, did tax fraud and insurance fraud and business fraud and bank fraud. I mean, this is a guy his university was fake, his charity was fake, like all that shit. And Rogan, who's clearly done no reading on fucking any of it and doesn't know the first thing about any of it, here he is and he goes, the fact that this guy was charged with 91 crimes leads me to like him more. This is what we like to call online brainworms, online anti-establishment brainworms. In other words, the fact that CNN is talking about all these crimes that Trump committed means, fuck CNN, I hate CNN, therefore I'm on the side of the guy who committed the crimes, right? The idea that this was all lawfare is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen. We watched him with our own two eyes do January 6th. We watched him try to do the fake elector slate, which was an attempt to just steal the election from Joe Biden after he knew he lost, and he said behind the scenes he knew he lost, but he tried to steal that election. He had his own crowd violently storm the Capitol. He was still calling U.S. congresspeople and senators after that saying, throw out the results of the election. Don't accept Biden as the president. This is what this guy did, and you have the nerve to sit there and pretend like it's all fucking lawfare? His brain is cooked, bro. His brain is cooked.
Kyle is going to spend this whole video not realizing that Joe is part of the billionaire class. He's only a half a billionaire, which is still more than most humans, but he's closer to them than he is to anybody else. So of course, who he relates to in regards to elections is not going to be anything that determines anybody's life. He's benefited from the system as it is. He doesn't want to change it whatsoever. And if somebody does claim to want to change it, he would prefer the changes to help the richest people in the world, which is him. It's not that complicated. And it's not a specific policy. It's a way of governing. And Joe Rogan got shit on by CNN. So of course he's going to say, even if you guys are not for anybody, whoever you guys are against, then I'm for. Because politics has become team sports and sports debates, that logic makes sense. Being on the opposite side of your ops is a good enough reason for most people.
When you're surrounded by right-wing idiots all day long, and all you know is the anti-establishment fucking narrative, which isn't even based in reality, you don't read the first thing about the actual cases, this is what that looks like. So now just the fact that he was charged with 91 crimes, he goes, well, that makes me support him more. Could you imagine if it's a Democrat who's charged with 91 crimes? Would Joe Rogan immediately be like, I'm with that Democrat? Are you kidding? No, he'd be like, look at how corrupt that person is. Look at how insane that person is. Look at
Democrats are so weak, they don't even have to be convicted of anything. They just have to say something stupid, silly, weird, out of the ordinary, make a weird sound, anything that's not perfect. people are going to say, oh, you were supposed to be the good guys, perfect. Oh my goodness, you're not perfect? Then that's it. We're going for the worst possible option, which is not a fair playing ground.
Look at how beyond the pale that person is. But when it's Trump charged with 91 crimes, suddenly it's, oh, that's just evidence of how pure he is and how much of a fighter against the system he is. And clearly it's lawfare and it's not legitimate. Well, I actually read the cases unlike you, and so I happen to know that this shit is real as a motherfucking heart attack, bro. He was charged with 91 crimes, because I'll be damned, that motherfucker committed 91 crimes. In fact, he probably committed way more than that and got away with most of them.
He's a convicted felon. Like, hey, they can do that to you. Do you understand that?
I haven't committed 91 crimes. I haven't done that. He did. That's the difference. This is the dumbest, first they came for it. Are you kidding me? This is not what that poem is for. The poem is for, what the ICE Gestapo thugs are doing to immigrants in this country. It's not for, first they came for the billionaire pedophile elites and I said nothing. What are you doing, Joe? God, what an embarrassment.
If they can do that to a former president, a former fucking president who's rich as shit, they can do that to him. They can do that to you, too. You can't cheer this on. This is insane. And then when they try to kill him, all those things.
Who's they? They tried to kill him. Oh, they, you mean the fucking Republican Groyper guy? That guy? They say they, it's this big conspiracy and it's the deep state and it's... No. This was a right-wing incel loner asshole. A Groyper right-wing freak. We know that. Why they tried to kill him? You're making it seem like it's the deep state or some fucking conspiracy. No, it was a right-winger. It was a Republican, a registered fucking Republican.
This is insane. And then when they try to kill him, all those things.
Twice.
It was like, yeah, but the big one, the Pennsylvania one, was like, holy shit. And then the fact that they cremated that kid 10 days later, and then you find out he used to be in a BlackRock commercial, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
And then his apartment's professionally scrubbed. There's no silverware in it, and you don't hear a peep out of it. There's no press conference. There's no this is what we know about the case. This is what happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and by the way, that is fishy, but it's fishy not in the way that Joe Rogan thinks. Trump nearly got assassinated by some weird incel loser freak. And Trump never mentions that guy, never heard him say his name, never heard, he said, oh, I'm satisfied with the results of the investigation, and he moves on. This motherfucker still bitches about Rosie O'Donnell, but he's got nothing to say about the dude that nearly killed him? Something is fishy there, Joe Rogan. Something is fishy there, but perhaps it's not in the way that you think it's fishy. It's got nothing to do with the Democrats. It's got to do with, are we not getting the full story here either?
It seemed to just sort of go away. All the media pointed at the Secret Service for a while, and they were like, first of all, how did he get onto how did he get into line of sight? He was 130 yards away, with a high-powered rifle. The place is crawling with police and Secret Service. And, I don't even know if that sniper that got him, did he act independently? Did he just do his job, or was he told to actually fire? Because I heard that the
guy who killed the
sniper
shooter?
that killed the shooter.
Oh, I don't know. Because
I knew there was some controversy.
Well, they think there might have been a second shooter as well.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah. The whole thing's insane because they've managed to cover it up. I mean, it would have been Lee Harvey Oswald 2.0 if Trump had died that day.
Have you noticed we're 2 minutes and 8 seconds into why'd you interview Trump? Why do you support Trump? Not a single policy has been mentioned. Not a single one. So now, homie's awfully quiet now that Trump just kicked 17 million people off their Medicaid, ripped healthcare away from poor people, disabled people. He's awfully quiet now that 3 million people lost their SNAP, their food stamps. Awfully quiet given that the class war was just waged on the bottom 90%, where the wealthy get another tax cut, the wealthy get another subsidy, and the bottom 90% get screwed over yet again. So all this talk about Trump, why you supported Trump, and nothing about policy, and this guy's fucking ruining the country, opening up alligator Auschwitz, sending people to a concentration camp in El Salvador, and you got nothing to say but, oh, bro, the Democrats and the lawfare, bro.
Trump's team has got, the Department of Justice, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Department of Homeland Security. You got to think that they're...
You would hope.
I hope.
But, I mean, hey, we're only in April, right? Yeah. So he's only been in office for a few months.
There's a lot
He's
of stuff.
Closing in on the first 100 days.
So that was kind of the shift. You're sitting back watching this.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can't let this just...
Well, it's also... There's no real conversations with him where you're just treating him like a human being. Like everything, he's being grilled, and then everything's taken out of context. And I'm seeing them being taken out of context on the campaign trail. And it was just gross.
So what Rogan is saying here is, I didn't like how the media was mean to Trump. I feel like they took him out of context. It was gross. No, Joe, the thing that's gross is that the motherfucker told over 30,000 lies in his first term alone.
If a person is running to be the most powerful person in the world, the media should be mean to them, should scrutinize everything they say, and have ever said in regards to public policy. Joe Rogan is mad that the media was mean to Trump. They should be, but not only to Trump, but to every politician running for any office, especially the president. Joe's someone who's been in the public life for like 30 years. I don't understand what makes you so naive as soon as you reach $500 million. How disconnected from society do you have to be before you start pushing for nonsense, especially if you have a huge audience that are looking to learn, not necessarily from Joe himself, but from his interviews, from who he decides to interview. So when you decide to interview a bunch of billionaire, power-hungry technocrats, eventually people are going to think like, whoa, if Joe thinks he's cool, then he might be cool. He can't be that evil if Joe thinks he's cool. And it's not like Joe doesn't understand that. That's the problem that I'm having, and also Kyle Kulinski.
That's the gross thing. What's actually gross is the interview you did with him, where you let him lie to your fucking audience over and over. He literally said to Joe Rogan's face, I never said lock her up about Hillary Clinton. I never said it. The audience would say it, and I'd go, whoa, whoa, whoa. He lied right to Joe Rogan's face, and Joe Rogan sat there like, right, bro, right. Like, are you kidding me? He said, Rogan says to him, go ahead and make the case as to why you think you won the 2020 election, and I'll step back and let you talk because nobody else let you do that. Are you out of your fucking mind? So what you're doing is, you are saying, I will now proceed to not fact check your lies, and that makes me more virtuous than the mainstream media. No, that makes you less virtuous. I'll take any mainstream media asshole over Rogan any fucking day of the week when he let Trump lie to his audience face over and over, which is the same thing he did. Elon Musk lied to his audience over and over. Mark Andreessen lied to his audience over and over. Peter Thiel did the same thing. Mark Zuckerberg did. He has on a billionaire and coddles his nuts seemingly every fucking month and lets them lie about, oh, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is debanking conservatives, bro. That's a lie. They protect people from being debanked, and they're the anti-scam police. But you let billionaires do class war propaganda and lie to your audience and dupe your audience. You're the fucking problem here, Joe. Oh, my God.
So anti-American. Like, if you're an American and you believe in our justice system, and if you believe in our system of electing representatives, it should be the best people should have this opportunity to express what their plan is. This is what I want to do. This is where I stand on the issues. This is how I think I could pull it off. Mm-hmm. And then the American people are supposed to look at this person saying it and that person saying it and decide. But that's not what we were getting. We were getting one side that was radically being supported by almost all of mainstream media except Fox News.
Are you fucking kidding me? CNN and MSNBC are both sides factories all day long, and Fox News and One American News and Newsmax are cheerleading with their fucking pom-poms for Donald Trump. Spare me this bullshit about how, oh my God, they're all so in the tank for Democrats.
and then the other side that is just, you know, it was just un-American to me. The whole it's just like, you're subverting democracy. You're killing the whole thing, and you're doing it with deep state money.
The guy who supported Donald Trump says, you guys are subverting democracy. No, the guy you supported tried to overturn the last election. It's amazing to me.
Joe's use of they as if there's a big cabal against the rich and powerful that Trump is in line with is crazy. He knows that the richest people in the world are all on the same team against everybody else. So when he says they, and he's not referring to that actual group and cabal of people that actually exist, it's pretty unnerving because, again, he knows better. He covers it on his show. He interviews people. He knows better. So I don't know what type of game he's playing, but it's definitely interesting to see it all played out. And talking about knowing better, we just covered Piers Morgan interviewing Joy Reid and kind of making a complete fool out of himself. The clips that were going around make Joy Reid look ridiculous. But when you click this video, you're going to see that the full context of that conversation is much more on her side than Piers. He was just trying to find a gotcha moment.